landscape than what you find today. There were an amazing number of smelting furnaces in operation here 2,000 to 1,500 years ago. This was an extremely prosperous society, a prosperous economy, based on one of the most complex technologies known in the history of mankind.
Why did this advanced technology disappear? For one thing, steelmaking demanded great quantities of trees for charcoal. But extended grazing and the periodic burning of the grassland made it impossible for the forests to renew themselves. But there were other complex forces at work. The colonization of Africa by the West and the subsequent weakening of the political system of which iron was the lifeblood. Pietro Nierubamba, a former king, gamely holds onto the shell of a royal compound. He recalls his coronation in 1958.
Ilikaa siku 4 asubuhi yake kama muda wa saa 12 asubuhi sana, waesi walikuwa wamekwenda pale kwenye nafasi yao, wakaanza
On the fourth day of my coronation, very early at 6 a.m., the smiths had started to forge iron. I entered their forge to join them as ritual requires. I beat the bellows and hammered the iron.
Ile chuma ndio kijani chetu cha okukama wakiani. Sasa wao iposhika ile nyundo ikapiga chuma, basi walishangilia watu wote.
The people outside cheered. I had become king of Kianja Kingdom. I was iron.
The traditional kings, whose power came in part from the taxes and tribute of ironworkers, were stripped of their authority. Of the great royal compounds with their communities of retainers and elaborate courts, little remains, except for the ritual iron knives and spears that were the most potent symbols of the king's power. For the smelters themselves, iron-making held little romance. Men like Kariba and Norbert Kajuna were content to give up the heat and dust of the ironworks to grow cash crops like coffee that were encouraged by the colonial government. So the final blow to local ironworking, to a traditional technology that had endured for thousands of years, was the appearance of cheap spring steel, either bought or salvaged. The side yards of some village forges now resemble small junkyards of auto parts. Here on foreign anvils and with imported bellows, smiths forge agricultural tools from the springs of Land Rovers. But even the younger smiths, who have never worked a piece of locally smelted iron, still understand the special language of iron production. Place names themselves have double meanings that celebrate the virility of the men who work with iron. Well, he says, that stream over there that flows from the tree of iron, Its name means water, of course, but you know when a woman gets sexually excited, well, you know that name means the same thing. The smelter's figurative child, the bloom of iron at the end of his blowpipe, is the result of a process whose forms and tools and motions have long ago become symbols of the physical act of human reproduction. Creating iron is creating life. When the Iron Tower fell across the valley, the legend tells us, it struck the hillside at Katerero like a smelter's rhythmic beating, like a lover approaching a woman. The landscape of the Tree of Iron reverberates with place names that recall the physical act of smelting and link it with sexual potency and fertility. Katerero, the place of beating. Kanyinya, the place of entry. Kizi, a stream of feminine fluid. In the oral traditions, the gentle hills and valleys of this landscape are transformed into the body of a receptive woman. In the shadow of Kaija, the Tree of Iron, villagers bring gifts to a new bride and celebrate the continuation of life. What archaeology, oral tradition, and the study of technology can do is to demonstrate to a new generation of Africans how rich their heritage has been, and how, even in the face of the dramatic change of the last century, the ancient skills have endured and given meaning to their world.